Yo! What's going on, everybody? You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. And boy, oh boy, do we have a lot to talk about today. The Giants may be 0-2, but there are plenty of storylines surrounding this football team. We're going to go through my winners and losers of the Week 1 matchup. We're also going to talk about a potential Bryce Young trade for the New York Giants. And then we have a mailbag to close out today's show. We already put a video out on the channel this morning regarding Brian Daboll and his future with the New York Giants. I think it's time to pull the plug. I think the Giants need to move on. I just don't think he elevates this franchise in areas that he was advertised to elevate this franchise. I'll open up the comment section to you, though. Should the Giants fire Brian Daboll? I don't think that it should be a right now thing. I think you can wait and let him run out this entire year. Maybe he can continue to improve and turn things around and still some hope in this team, this organization, this franchise, and most importantly, John Mara. I'm not saying I would do it now, but I do think if things do not change, if things stay status quo, that the Giants need to move on. I'm just worried that Brian Daboll can't do the little things that a head coach is supposed to do, like suit up 48 players that can help your team win a football game. Yesterday was not the first time that Brian Daboll played an injured Graham Gano with no backup plan. Yesterday was not the second time that Brian Daboll has played an injured Graham Gano without a backup plan. Yesterday was the third time in less than 2.5 seasons that Brian Daboll has trotted out an injured Graham Gano with no backup plan. I went back and I looked through my texts with a very good friend of mine. His name is Mr. Rick. He goes by Cha. He watches this show. He is one of the most diehard Giants fans that I know. He texted me last year, October, I believe it was 22nd, prior to the Giants playing the Washington Commanders. He texted me saying, Marshall, Graham Gano is hurt. Graham Gano is not warming up. Graham Gano is not healthy. You know what Graham Gano did against the Washington Commanders? He missed kicks. You know what Graham Gano did the next week against the New York Jets? He missed 2 kicks. Do you know what Graham Gano did after they lost to the New York Jets? He went on IR and his season was done. This is the third time that Brian Daboll could not figure out how to manage the game day roster. Mr. Rick is watching this game from the stands. Mr. Rick is watching warm-ups with a butt in a seat and a medium Pepsi for free. And he knew that Graham Gano was unable to play. But the guy that's the head coach of this team does not. I have no more patience for incompetence for Brian Daboll. And yesterday was a fireable offense because it was not the first time, not the second time, but the third time that he has trotted out a hurt Graham Gano with no backup kicker. You have a kicker on the practice squad. You only had 52 players on the active roster yesterday. You're allowed 53. There is no reason for not having a backup kicker. Dan Duggan, who covers this football team for The Athletic, tweeted out prior to the game that every time Graham Gano kicked the ball in warm-ups, he was wincing. And then he cut his warm-ups short and jogged off the field. Why would you not have a backup plan? It's because you're unprepared. You're not ready for this job. There's a major difference between being an offensive coordinator and the CEO of a football team. I think he can't be a good offensive coordinator outside of the Josh Allen Buffalo Bills. I'm just not sure that he could be the head coach of this football team. Shout out to my guy Marty in the chat, coming in with a $20 super chat. Marty, you sent this in before the show even started, my man. Thank you for always supporting this show. It means a lot. Seeing familiar faces in the chat despite this team being 0-2 for the 9th time in the last 12 seasons. It makes me happy, and it makes me feel like at least we're doing something right on this channel. Marty, I appreciate you, my man. Says if we had a kicker, I think we win yesterday. Leak is gold. Malik Nabers is a stud. Got to catch that ball in the fourth quarter on 4th down, but Malik Nabers is if you had a list of New York Giants problems, Malik Nabers is the last name on there in that drop. I am not worried about him. I'm not worried about that drop. He's already the most skilled player that we have on this football team outside of Dexter Lawrence and Andrew Thomas. Mike G coming in with a $20 super chat. And Marty, yes, if the Giants had a kicker yesterday, they win the football game. Mike G, my man, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a real one. Who is the top QB we want in college? I know it's early, but not for us, sadly. Tough to be positive, but appreciate all you do, Marsh, and we deserve better as Giants fans. I hope everybody feels like they deserve better instead of just wanting to run it back with Brian Daboll and Joe Shane because we're scared of change and we don't want to go look for better. We want to sink into what we have, which is mediocre. Not me. I'm proactive. I want to be great, and there's people out there that can make this organization great. When it comes to who are the top quarterbacks in college football, a lot of people love Carson Beck. I'm a Cam Ward guy. And Smitty, Jalen Milroe is rising up on my list.
Is he?
Jalen Milroe, after his performance against Wisconsin this past weekend, the ability to change the game with one play. Elite talent. That's what I'm looking for at the next quarterback spot. I want someone with untapped potential, attributes that are off the charts, someone that can change a game. Because you know who can change a game? C.J. Stroud. You know who can change a game? Josh Allen. You know who can change a game? Patrick Mahomes. Joe Burrow. You have to have an elite quarterback to win in the league in 2024. Giants need to go find that guy.
I just want to throw my not my name in the hat here, but a name I got for you guys. Start watching Miller Moss.
You are a Miller Moss guy.
Start watching Miller Moss over at USC. He can sling the rock. Now, they do have a ton of weapons, which makes things a lot easier for him, but he gets the ball out quick. He reads defenses. He makes multiple reads. I like what I see from Miller Moss. And Lincoln Riley products typically do pretty well.
Miller Moss, we got to see him in person. Smitty and I went to the LSU-USC game in Las Vegas a couple of weeks ago, and he looked good. I also like Quinn Ewers a lot. I know that he's up and down, and he's had some injuries, but his highs are extremely high. There's a lot of quarterbacks out there that a lot of people should be paying attention to, considering the Giants are 0-2 yet again. Before we talk more and we answer more questions, and shout out to everybody in the building, 303 people watching. I was wondering if people would even tune in today. Thank you for being here. Hit that thumbs up icon and make sure you are hooked up with our proud ticketing app, GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, use the promo code ChatSports, and get $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. Take advantage of their awesome features on their app. The all-in pricing feature. The price you pay, or price you see, is the price that you pay, and the GameTime picks feature as well. It pretty much isolates and personalizes your feed, making it that much more easy to go watch your favorite people perform. Shout out to GameTime. Last-minute tickets, and if you're going to a Giants game, you might want to save yourself $20. Get that right there. Prime promo code ChatSports, ChatSports. What time is it? Game time. Also, shout out to PrizePicks, today's sponsor of our live show, our daily fantasy sports partner. All you do is create a lineup of 2 to 6 players, and you simply choose more, and you simply choose less. That's all you do. Smitty, already ready to go for this upcoming slate.
I'm always ready. I always get the prize picks locked and loaded. And every month, or this entire month, every football weekend in September, they're giving you a free win. Caleb Williams, more than half a passing yard. Who doesn't want a free win on prize picks? And then we're going league to get back over 68.5, more than 68.5 receiving yards. And then Deshaun Watson, listen, that brother stinks. Going less than 204.5 pass yards against Big Blue. Tail our picks, fade our picks. Doesn't matter. Just do it at PrizePicks. Get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even have to win that $5 entry to get $50 instantly on PrizePicks. So join us today.
Shout out to PrizePicks. Also, shout out to GameTime.
Code CLNS.
Promo code CLNS. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Promo code CLNS. Get $50 for free when you play a $5 lineup. Joey DeLuca coming in with $1 super chat. Joey, thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting this show. We appreciate you, my man. Thank you, brother. And then Baldasac, $5 super chat. Love that. Where the F is Steve Tisch? He's been invisible the past 10 years. Mara needs to sell this team. He can't do it or put it in Tisch's hands. Where's he been, though? Steve Tisch is the least of my worries. This is a John Mara ran organization. Steve Tisch is probably plotting on his next movie in Hollywood. Look, you could be mad at whoever you want. You should be mad at a lot of people. And it starts with Tish. It starts with Mara. It rolls down to Shane. It rolls down to Daboll. And it rolls down to the lack of talent on this roster. I wouldn't be mad at anybody if they're mad at this football team right now. I know I am. I think we deserve a little bit better. I think we do. Baldasack, back again, man. Thank you for the love. Says, we need to call Bryce Young. He's cheap and he's young. He quite literally is young because that is his last name. We've got an entire segment around Bryce Young. I tweeted out on Twitter saying that the Giants should go out and trade for him. Half the people agree, half the people disagree. And Smitty, when that's the case, that's exactly where I want to be.
Yep.
I want half the people to think I'm an idiot. I want half the people to think I'm smart. And you know what? That's where we're at right now.
You know you got a good take when it divides the people.
When it divides the people. It absolutely does. 300 people watching, only 72 likes. If you could, please, please, please hit that thumbs up icon. The easiest way to support this show is by hitting that thumbs up icon. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. We're also going to get into a mailbag coming up in about 45 minutes or so. I'm sure you guys have a lot to say. I've got a lot to say. I want to talk with you. I want to interact with you. I want to answer your questions. If you've got a comment, you've got a thought, you got a take, you want to tell me I'm stupid, go ahead and do it down in the comment section. Use hashtag Giants and make sure that if you want to guarantee your spot on the show, you got a super chat. A lot of people are going to have things to say. Smitty's going to choose the best questions that he can. And we'll get into that. We will get into that as I believe my guy, Mr. T, my man, Mr. Troll, coming in with a $25 cash app. Shout out to Troll. We appreciate you, man. He was the week 1 MVP. He was the week 2 MVP. Troll. He's coming out and he's looking to continue his reign as the MVP of New York Giants now by Chat Sports. He says, for have no fear, Troll is here. Troll went. I got to sneeze. Oh, we're good.
Baby.
We're back.
False
we're
alarm.
Back. False alarm. Troll, seriously, man, thank you for the constant love, constant support of this channel. It means a lot to me. This is my job. This is my full-time job. And when you guys support the way you do, it helps me out a lot. So I appreciate it. I know it's easy to close the book and fold on this season. And I'm going to try to be more positive because you know what? At the end of the day, we are who we are. We're the New York Football Giants, and we're 0-2. But I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to tell you what you have to hear, maybe not what you want to hear. And I'm going to give you my opinion because I believe that's why people tune into this show, not for me to wipe their butts and clean their mouths and tell them everything's going to be okay while I rock them to sleep about the New York Football Giants. Not doing that.
That's not how we play the game.
There are plenty of other people that will fill you with positivity when you're 0-2 for the 9th time in 12 years. I will not do that. Mailbag coming up in a second.
Get your questions
Get
in.
your questions in. Hashtag Giants or Super Chat. Shout out to everybody in the building. 300 people watching. Only 94 likes. If we get to 150 likes, we'll run it right now. Hit that thumbs up icon. Let's go. Todd says you got would be a mistake. He can't read a defense, and I don't believe he is built to play in the NFL. Are you talking about Daniel Jones or Bryce Young?
Probably, I would assume Bryce Young.
Because the exact same things could be said about Daniel Jones. One's just in their second year with one game in that season, and one's in their 6th season. But I'll tell you why you guys need to open up your eyes a little bit. What up, Gilly? Thanks for being here. Cha says, I'm half-hearted happy that the youngsters here are experiencing the pain of the 70s. It made the dominant teams of the 80s so much sweeter. Yeah, look. Mr. Rick, man. This is tough. I think a couple more soups came in. Let's hit those. We got one more from Baldasack and then Marty, and then we can roll into today's show. You, all right?
Yeah, I'm great.
We just lost them all?
Super chats, yeah, but it's fine. I'm gonna.
I can just read them off. Baldasack, $5 super chat. Sorry, we can't pop it up on screen, my man. Our software is kind of like the Giants right now, just not working all that well. It says Mara has been getting people fired for years. Look how much he gave Galladay. He's the main problem. Who the hell hires Dave Gettleman? It's been him all along. Not really sure that's how it works, but you know what? If you want to rage and you want to be mad at the Giants, sign me up. I'll be right there egging you on a little bit. Marty, $5 super says, I don't think anyone thinks you're stupid. Everyone here loves you. should go look at the comments, man. Go look at the comments. But you know what? I love that shit. I love that shit because if my thoughts can provoke you enough to be mad at me, that means you actually believe in what I'm saying just a little bit. Hamza Network, $5 super chat. What's up, Hamza? Says the Giants could have put Jude McAdamy on the roster with 53 men and would not have had to cut anyone since he is from North Ireland and win yesterday. You are 100% right, Hamza. The Knicks the Knicks. I almost called them the Knicks because the Knicks are a dysfunctional team. But now the Giants are more dysfunctional than the Knicks. It's crazy.
Far. Not even close.
Yeah. Look, Nope, I wouldn't say Twitter hates me, brother. Over 8,000 followers, dude. You'll be all right, though. You're just a little child. You're just a little pup. Just a little pup. Dude got 12 likes on a tweet and thought he was a big dog.
Hey.
Proud of you, though.
We all start somewhere, brother.
We got to all start somewhere. Maybe you could put your face as your profile picture and be a man. But, yeah, Hamza, I agree with you, man. There is no reason to not have your practice squad kicker on the team when your original kicker is hurt. Yeah, I know. That's crazy. What's up, Carl? Appreciate you being here, Carl. What's up, bro? John Toddy, what's up, dog? Appreciate you being here. Gilly says, faceless men on Twitter who talk smack always amuse me. No, yeah, they're always the toughest ones. It's
the ones with the K Von Thibodeau profile pictures. Yep.
It's all good, though. It's all good.
Oh, my goodness.
Bronx Boy, appreciate the question.
Bronx boy telling me to get in the game is ridiculous.
What did he say?
He must have seen me put my hands on in my face in frustration, and Bronx boy said, "Smitty, get in the game." Ridiculous, Bronx boy.
LOL. Alrighty. 300 people watching. Coming up on today's show, we've got our winners and our losers from the Week 2 game against the Washington Commanders. There were some things that I was excited about and that I liked when I went back and watched this game, and I watched the All-22 film. Smitty's
Gilly, it's not me.
It's not him. It's, unfortunately, our software that's been broken for 2-3 weeks, a month now at this point.
I'm sorry, y'all. I love you.
Shaw says Goodell has to step in and threaten Mara Tisch. Having a flagship. Oh, man. Mr. Rick, you ain't wrong. Corey Hurd, $5 super chat. Corey Hurd, what's up, man? $5 super chat says, we need to do something similar to what the Texans have done. Train cornerstone players for premium draft capital. Yeah, one thing I would like to see this year from the New York Giants is if we're going to be a bad football team, let's move on from some of these players at the trade deadline. Guys that are going to be free agents. You did that last year with Leonard Williams. You probably should have did it with Xavier McKinney, and you probably should have did it with Saquon Barkley. The guys I'm looking at this year that are going to be free agents at the end of the year, Azeez Ojulari. He's a rotational pass rusher who might have some value across the league. I'd look to trade Azeez. I'd also look to trade Darius Slayton, who's going to be a free agent at the end of the year, and prioritize Jalen Hyatt. Because I don't think Darius Slayton will re-sign with the New York Giants if Daniel Jones is not on this team. And Daniel Jones will not be on this team in 5 months. Yeah, that's where I'm at on that. Corey, I agree with you, man. And we should also do like the Texans did. They've had 3 different coaches in 3 straight seasons. Now they have DeMeco Ryans, one of the best coaches in the NFL. You don't settle at the head coach spot just because you're scared of change, just because you think that what you have is good enough. Nah, you look for the best. You're the New York Football Giants. Michael Pinto, what's up, man? $20 super chat says, I don't, thank you, first and foremost, says, I don't think I'm ready to move on from Shane yet. Daboll, on the other hand, if Belichick is willing to come in and coach this team next year, I think it's a no-brainer. We win that game. Yeah, Bill Belichick does not lose that football game. There's one thing you can say about Bill Belichick. He's ready to coach a team. He'll have his team ready to play, and he will be organized. He will make sure the active 48 players will all contribute in some sort of way. You think Bill Belichick's going into a game with a hurt kicker, not once, not twice, but 3 times? You think Bill Belichick is calling a defense that's allowing Jane Daniels to have 7 successful drives against you? You think Bill Belichick would go a game against the Commanders without forcing a punt one time? Yeah, no, I agree with you, Michael. I agree with you. Pedro, what's up, my man? Appreciate the $5 super chat. Says Danny Cannell, Dave Brown, Kent Graham, Kerry Collins. Rather watch That's disrespectful to Kerry Collins. Kerry Collins went to a Super Bowl. Let's not put Daniel Jones in that category with Kerry Collins. The other guys, for sure. But Collins, he went to a Super Bowl, even though they got smoked. Watch Daniel Jones. That being said, we are going to weather another bad season. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, look, I've been trying to tell you guys for probably a year now, Daniel Jones is not the answer to your problems. Not the answer to your problems. Yeah, Mike G, I don't understand. Why is Pedro dissing Kerry Collins? He got us to the bowl, baby. He got us to the bowl.
Crazy poll. I own a Kerry Collins jersey.
That's tough.
It's ridiculous.
That's tough.
It's in my closet at home.
That is fire. Way better, Mike. Way better. Mine is average at best. Average at best. Mr. Rick, where was Sexy Dexy on Sunday? Washington ran it down his throat. Yeah. Giants defense, not very good against the run.
It takes more than just Dexter Lawrence, though.
Yeah, I don't think that's fair to put it all on him. I see the angle you're going at, but what about like Mike McFadden? What about Bobby Okereke? What about Rakeem Nunez-Roches? What about Kayvon Thibodeau?
Yeah, what about Kayvon Thibodeau being a one-dimensional football player?
Yep. Everyone told me Kayvon Thibodeau played good yesterday. Don't go look at the Pro Football Focus grades.
How did he grade out? I actually didn't see that.
Not good.
Oh.
Below 50s across the board.
Ooh, that's really not good.
You're not going to be a good football team if your GM's handed the 5th and 7th overall pick and you can't get a starter, can't get a contributor, can't get a difference maker. Oh, lordy, lordy. A lot to talk about on today's show. I lied, Smitty. His defensive grade was a 60. His rush defense was a 60. Tackling a 29. Pass rush 58. Just want to clear that up.
So for a guy who specializes in pass rushing, his pass rushing was somehow worse than his run defense yesterday.
Yep. Not great. Not great for Mr. Kayvon Thibodeau. 2 weeks for Thibodeau. Pass rush grades 48 and 58. Not going to be able to do it. All right, I guess if we don't have him, we just won't do it, I guess. Let's just do that like right before. Like we'll do one final call if, you know what I'm saying, if we can get them to stick. If not, just build like 4 or 5 of them. 330 people in the building. Once we get to 150 likes, we're going to start today's show. We're going to start with our winners and losers from our Week 2 matchup. I'm going to talk about Bryce Young as a trade target for the New York Giants. And then potentially we're going to have a mailbag if we can get this thing to work. Avex says Drew and Nubin looks great, though. Drew Phillips did look really good. Tyler Nubin, good. He could be better, though. He could be better. But I am excited about the 2024 draft class. I like what I've seen from the 2024 class.
It helps when Malik Nabers headlines it.
Yep.
It definitely helps.
It does, it does, it does. All righty. Let's go ahead. Let me pull something up real quick. Let's talk about it. Let's do it. The New York Giants may be 0-2, but there were some things to be positive about coming out of that Week 2 loss to the Commanders. Look, I don't believe in moral victories whatsoever, especially in the National Football League. You either win a game or you lose the game. But considering the circumstances and where the Giants are right now, I do want to point out some really good performances from players on today's video. But before I do, I got to hear from you. Give me your one word to describe the New York Giants. One word to describe the New York Giants right now. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for stopping by. It's easy to close the book when you're 0-2, but this is where the real fans stand up. They continue to rep their team. They continue to rep their squad because they are real ones. I've got 3 winners, and I've got 2 losers. So I'm trying to be a little bit more positive. I think the biggest winner on the defensive side of the ball for the Giants against the Washington Commanders was rookie slot corner Andrew Phillips. This is a guy that I think might be a long-term piece on this defense. He was all over the football field for Big Blue. 12 tackles, 2 tackles for loss. He had a sack. He just plays the football game the way you're supposed to. Downhill, physical, aggressive, not scared. It's almost like it's the complete opposite of the way Shane Bowen wants to play defense. But he looks sticky in coverage. He looked good in run defense. The Giants haven't played in the box sometimes. I think I can make the argument that through 2 weeks, the best 2 players on the Giants defense have been Dexter Lawrence and Andrew Phillips. He forced a forced fumble in week 1, and he was all over the football field in week 2 at a crucial red zone sack. All over the field. I think he will continue to get better and better in coverage, but the early signs of return on this pick are positive, and it might just be the best value pick of the Joe Shane era, 3rd-round pick, rookie slot corner, Drew Phillips. And he's getting love from everybody. All of the draft experts are talking about him, and even Ryan Clark, once a Giant, always a Giant, former Giant, says Drew Phillips is going to be an absolute stud at the nickel position in this league. And then D. Phillips responded, "That's love. Appreciate you, OG." Very excited and very encouraged by the way that he has played football over the first 2 weeks. And the Giants got a steal on him. Want to continue to see him grow in coverage. I love the physicality. I love the tenacity. And the dude plays downhill, not afraid to tackle somebody. What about when Austin Eckler tried to tap the Y button, go over the top? Drew Phillips met him up top, brought him down, got injured a little bit, came back, and he continued to make plays for this defense who desperately needed it. The biggest loser from yesterday's game was Brian Daboll. For the third time, Brian Daboll has gone into a game with Graham Gano hurt and no backup plan. He did it against Washington last year. He did it against the Jets last year. And he did it again yesterday against Washington. My patience level for the incompetence when it comes to not being able to select your game day roster right to give your team the best chance to win is going to make me stroke out. If Dan Duggan from the press box can see that Gano didn't look comfortable at all during warmups, wincing after most kicks, and then he cut his pregame warmup short and jogged off the field, you would think Brian Daboll would know that, considering they put him on the injury report on Friday. So you went to bed Friday night and Saturday night, Brian Daboll, with a chance to collect, dream, and think that maybe you need to go call up the guy that you have on your practice squad. But you didn't do that. You know what you did? You made a fool of yourself in the post-game press conference. This man stared down a beat reporter like he was going to knock him out because he asked Brian Daboll, "Are you confident that you will be able to keep this job? Are you worried about your job security?" He's a punk for that. He stared down a beat reporter like he was going to beat him up because he asked him a question about his job security because the Giants are 0-2 and you were one of the worst teams in the National Football League last year. This feels like it's about to get off the rails. It does. I I feel like Brian Daboll is losing the locker room. I feel like he is losing the respect of his players. And I'm just not so sure how he can turn this around. Because his calling card is offense. And the Giants' offense is no good. The only good part about that offense, the rookie, Malik Nabers, and Andrew Thomas in the offensive line. That's it. That is it. Even Motor Singletary can't even hold on to the football. Broke my heart. Malik Nabers is a stud. No doubt about it. But the fourth quarter, fourth down drop was heartbreaking. And I don't need to spend too much time on this. We all know he should have caught the football. He knows he should have caught the football. There's no excuse. All you say is, make the catch next time. But I'm not going to come up here and not celebrate what we saw because that was an unreal performance. That was one of the best performances by a rookie wide receiver in NFL history. The dude was targeted 18 times. He had 10 catches for 127 yards and a touchdown, including 83 yards after catch. It was the best performance from a Giants wide receiver since Odell Beckham Jr. Almost like we've been telling you that since he was drafted, before he was drafted by the Giants. Shout out to my guy WBG84 on Twitter. Best Giants account out there. Give him a follow. Giants wide receiver Nabers, 21 years old and 49 days, is the youngest player in NFL history with 10-plus catches, 100-plus receiving yards, and 1+ TD in a game. He is that guy. What about Dane Brugler, the best NFL draft insider in the game? Works for The Athletic. Malik Nabers catches at 20-plus yards. He led college football with 34 last year, and he now leads the National Football League with 5 explosive catches. All of those catches were caught short of 20-plus air yards. The Giants are the only team in the NFL to not complete a pass this year with 20-plus air yards. But it gets even better for Nabers. Maybe that's the only thing we can root for this year. He's 8th in the NFL with 108 yards after catch this season. He's 4th in the NFL with 193 receiving yards. He's 3rd in the NFL with targets, 2nd in the NFL in catches, and he's 1st in the NFL with 9 first-down receptions. This guy is a stud. The Giants got one of them ones. He is your wide receiver one of the future, and I am just praying every night before I go to bed that the Giants can get a quarterback that can elevate his future. Because if you can, you are going to be cooking for a long time on offense. Show Malik Nabers some love. I know it hurts. The loss hurts. It really sucked. It did. But you know what? We weren't in that game if it wasn't because of him. He drove us all the way there, and he made one wrong turn. He'll improve, and he will be better because of that drop yesterday. If you've got the rookies back, type those ones, his jersey number, down in the comment section. We've got more winners and losers to talk about, but first, I got to give a major shout-out to today's sponsor, GameTime. Download the GameTime app, use the promo code ChatSports, and get $20 off your first purchase. You get the best seats for the lowest price guaranteed. You get to access your tickets from the phone. Prices of the events actually drop as the events get closer. So if you're a little bit of a procrastinator, you don't want to spend the money until you have it or spend the money until you have to, GameTime is the best ticketing app for you. It's super user-friendly. And they have awesome features that they have that are going to make sure you get the best price guaranteed. GameTime Picks. It isolates and creates a personalized feed. That way your feed makes it that much easier to go watch your favorite team, your favorite band, your favorite artist go perform. Also, the all-in pricing feature. No one likes getting to checkout and getting smacked upside the head with all of these hidden fees. GameTime, they do not do that. You can see that the price that they are showing is the price that you are going to pay. Download the GameTime app. Create an account. Use the promo code ChatSports. That's ChatSports and get $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. What time is it? It's game time. Be a real one. Support the show. Support the sponsor. The second biggest loser from yesterday's game was Shane Bowen, which also means that Brian Daboll is once again a loser because Brian Daboll handpicked Shane Bowen to be his defensive coordinator. The Giants did not force the Washington Commanders to punt one time yesterday. The punter did not sweat. The punter did not go on the field. The Commanders have a rookie quarterback. They do. And you didn't force them to punt one time. In fact, they lit you up. Sure, you held them out of the end zone. You were good in the red zone. You absolutely were. And I will applaud Shane Bowen for his red zone defense. But you broke and you were bent. You gave up 425 yards, 6.2 yards per play. You allowed 215 rushing yards. You were brought here because you were a guy that was supposedly a wizard when it came to stopping the run. That was just Mike Vrabel. You didn't force an interception. You didn't force a turnover. You didn't one time force the punt unit out there, and you let them pick up third and long after third and long after third and long. They held the ball for 38 minutes yesterday. They had the ball for 23 minutes in the first half. What about the Giants' defense on third down? On 3rd and 6+ versus Washington. Defensive holding, 9-yard run, 13-yard run, then a sack. But then a 14-yard run, then a 16-yard run, and a 20-yard pass. And then finally, an incomplete pass. But it was just death by 7 field goals. What about as the game continued to roll on? You tried to get off the field on third down. You tried to stop the run, but you just simply could not do it. Through 2 games, the Giants are once again at the bottom of every important statistic for a defense. Points allowed, tied for 27th. Yards allowed, tied for 27th. Passing yards allowed, 19th. Rushing yards allowed, 28th. Yards allowed per play, 28th. And the one that upsets me the most, opposing third down percentage. The Giants are allowing third down conversions at the 23rd worst rate in the National Football League. They have been good in the red zone. Got to give them their flowers there. That's what Shane Bowen was known for, being a good defensive coordinator and generating stops in the red zone. But if you let him get down there every drive, it does not matter. 7 drives, 7 field goals, 0 punts, 0 turnovers. You will never win a football game like that, especially when they out-time you when it comes to possession in the fashion that they did. The last winner I want to spend time on here on today's video is the New York Giants offensive line. Because here on this channel, I have been very critical of the offensive line, and they deserve their flowers today. They played their tails off. Carmen Brasillo has done a hell of a job with this offensive line. They allowed just 8 pressures, just 4 QB hurries, only 3 QB hits, and 1 sack. In that sack, that was a coverage sack. They charged that to Andrew Thomas. That was a coverage sack. That was not a sack by Andrew Thomas. I mean, through 2 weeks, 1 sack, 2 sacks. 2 sacks through 2 weeks have been charged to the offensive line. That is awesome. Just need a guy to manipulate the pocket a little bit better. 1 QB hit out of Runyon, 2 pressures out of JMS, 4 pressures out of Van Roten, and just 2 pressures out of our new right tackle, Jermaine Illuminor. Major shout out to Carmen Brasillo. Giants offense is elevated on the offensive line. The Raiders have now become the worst offensive line and the worst rushing attack in the National Football League. I can give flowers where they're supposed to be given. And I give a round of applause for Brian Daboll for finally getting the offensive line coach hire right. He missed on the first one, but you know what? He got it right on the second one. And I'm just glad he got it right because Carmen Brasillo, he has changed life for this offensive line. I need everyone to like today's video because if you're proud of this offensive line, hit that thumbs up icon. They gave up 85 sacks last year. 85 sacks last year. And they're already doing much better. Much, much better. Drastic improvements. Great signing by Joe Shane and Jermaine Illuminor. We told you that it was going to happen before it did and that it should happen. John Runyon has played all right. You went out and made a big-time move for Greg Van Roten prior to preseason opening up. I am happy with the way the offensive line played. If I had to gift one more winner for yesterday's game, it would be Deontay Banks. Deontay Banks played his tail off. He competed, man. He followed Terry McLaurin around all day yesterday. McLaurin finished with 6 catches for 22 yards. Major shout out to Deontay Banks. Chirping, playing physical. Loved what I saw from Tay. Banks were closed. Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on IG at @MarshallGreen_. I'm posting, I'm tweeting every day about Big Blue, and I'm always down to have a talk about it. So hit me up and let's go, G-Men. $400 people in the building. If you could, hit that thumbs up icon. The easiest way to support today's show is by liking the video. It is free. It is easy. any support. If you're here watching, that means you obviously care a little bit. And you know what? Invest in what you care about. I'd really, really appreciate it.
O-line's good, man.
O-line has
Shining
improved.
star on this roster.
The offensive line has improved dramatically.
Have you ever seen a Giants team that's had an offensive line play better than its defense? That is like night and day. It's night and day. It's never happened.
Not since number 10 hung it up.
Yeah.
It's been that long.
And even his offensive lines weren't good.
No, if you could fix live stream, it'd be cool. Try harder. Try harder. And you got 500 people watching, 400 people watching that want to voice their frustrations. I think it's a good idea. Me too. That's why I scripted it in today's show. Exactly. Troll says, can we spam F Celtics? You should literally spam F the Celtics every time you come into this chat.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
Every time you come into this chat, you should just spam F the Celtics.
Brock's boy, if I had a computer science degree, I would.
What about Nubin? I think Nubin's been good, but I can't give out more than 4 winners for a team that's 0-2.
Oh, Brock's boy didn't know that? He didn't know that I'm a Celtics fan?
Yes, he does.
Yeah. He better. He's in the Knicks chat.
Yeah, he knows.
Yeah.
I thought Nubin's been good, but it's hard to give a lot of winners to the defense when you got gashed for 450 yards.
Can't happen. Rookie quarterback. Second game.
I like the physicality Nubin plays with. I do. He's not afraid to get in the box.
Got cooked up by Cliff Kingsbury.
Zach Ertz tore us up.
Zach Ertz. He's 40.
2024.
He played in college with Andrew Luck.
Andrew Phillips played really well. He did. That's why he was the first winner we talked about. All righty. We had a couple of super chats come in. I don't know if we're able to rock on those.
Let me see.
My man, the Big Moo, came with a super chat. What's up, Big Moo? What's up, Surfboard? What up, Pedro? What up, Mike G? What up, Joey? What up, Brian? Shout out to everybody in the building. RG77 says, Marshall, could the Giants go 0-7? More importantly than 0-7, they could go 0-17. 0-17. Brian Combs, $5 super chat. What's up, my man? Thank you for the love. Says, would it make sense to trade for Bryce Young now that Carolina benched him?
Oh, boy.
You read my mind because we're talking about that next, baby. We're talking about that next. Troll, what's happening, guy? What's happening, Troll? Joey sending a $5 super chat. Says, why not start next season with Russell Wilson and a top draft pick to study? Much love. Because Russell Wilson's just not really that good anymore.
He's not good.
But I don't hate it.
The issue is this should have happened 2 years ago.
Or you should have signed Russell Wilson this offseason.
Or this offseason. Yeah, it could have happened many times in the past.
He visited with the New York Giants. You know why he didn't sign here? Because they said he'd have to beat out Daniel Jones.
Well, to be honest, if I was bringing in, if I were the Giants, I'd be okay with him saying no then, because that means I think you're bringing in a guy who doesn't want to compete.
Yeah, but one guy's an actual better quarterback than the other.
That's true. That's true, but
for the veteran minimum.
For the veteran minimum. But last year he was really, really bad.
No, I'm not saying Russell Wilson is all that good, but
he was clearly better than Daniel Jones.
He's better than Daniel Jones, and there's a lot of quarterbacks the Giants could have added this offseason. Justin Fields, he's 2-0. Sam Darnold, he's 2-0.
Yep.
Everyone told me, well, there was nothing we could do about the quarterback situation. You just didn't really try all that much. But I'm ready for Drew Lock. This is a Drew Lock channel.
Yep.
They need to put Drew Lock in there.
I just fear it's going to be too long until it happens.
Brian Burns got the bag. Did he retire? He had a sack yesterday on 3rd down, but the Giants got called for a holding. I don't want to be that nerd, but the advanced analytics say that he was really good yesterday in the run. Take it with whatever grain of salt you want to. His overall defensive grade yesterday was an 80. His rush defense is 74. His tackling is 73, and his pass rush is 71. He had a sack, Smitty. My prize picks lineup hit, and then the Giants got called for a phantom holding call.
It's crazy because he didn't even hold him.
No.
There was no holding a part of it. He got ran over.
Troll says we need DeVito. No, we don't.
No, we don't, Troll.
No, we do not. Where is A-Rod? $5 super chat. Thank you for the love, my man. How do you feel about Garrett Nussmeier from LSU for the Giants QB next season? I got to cover Garrett Nussmeier in high school. I did a couple of his games. I think he could use another year in college. I don't think he's pro ready.
This is only his first year as a starter.
First year as a starter.
He's played 2 games.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, 3.
Long way to go for Garrett. I think he's got NFL tools. I think he's got NFL talent. He could sling it. I know he looked good. I think it was in the bowl game last year when he played.
Yeah.
I like Garrett. He's a playmaker. He's got a good arm.
He didn't look great this past weekend against South
he had
Carolina.
a horrible interception in the red zone.
Yeah.
I need to see him play some more. He's not in my top 5, though, for this draft class yet. Not yet. Joey says he said the thing about Russell Wilson. Mike G sent in a $10 super chat. Sorry we can't pop all these up on screen for some reason. Just not working. Says, how do we fix this team besides QB? Got to be more than just Daniel Jones. Yeah, you need a new head coach. You need a new defensive coordinator. You need a lot more talent. You need all that. Surfboard. Marshy, breaking news. Manning is declaring for the draft. Giants will tank and pick him first.
Can't do another year without a quarterback, man.
You can't not pick a quarterback this year. Yeah. As much as I would love for Arch Manning to be that guy, you got to make a move for a guy this offseason. The Big Moose says, please explain to me that a punter can pin the ball inside the 5-yard line. Can't kick an extra point. WTF, all you do is kick, practice extra points.
At the end of the day, it's not in his job description.
Yeah. I get the frustration, and I'm not.
He should be able to, in theory, from an outsider's perspective, yes.
How about Brian Daboll just does a better job of having the Sunday game day roster in a better spot to win the game?
Yeah, why should the weight of a win or a loss be on Jamie Gillen's head?
Exactly. Rashad says, I am letting Joe Shane off the hook. I literally did a video over the weekend saying Joe Shane is on the hot seat.
And you can't really fire a GM midseason. It's just not how it works.
I love it. 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 All righty. Let's talk about this. Bryce Young has been benched by the Carolina Panthers. Should the Giants go out and make a trade for him? We're going to talk about that on today's video, but first I just want to hear from you in the comment section. Which guy would you rather have under center? Is it Daniel Jones? Is it Bryce Young? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. I would like everybody to sound off for me. DJ or Bryce Young? Let me know. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for stopping by as we break down a story that I just think a little bit more Giants fans should be paying attention to and maybe just have a little bit more curiosity into it. Adam Schefter broke the news today. The Panthers are benching former number 1 overall pick Bryce Young per sources. Andy Dalton is the new Carolina Panthers QB. First thing I said when I saw this is, should the Giants call? And I thought about it, put my thoughts on paper, and I believe the New York Giants should call. Look, Bryce Young has not been good in the NFL. Bryce Young has been horrible to start the NFL season. First game against the New Orleans Saints, he looked terrible. 13-30, sub 45% completion rate, 161 yards on 13 attempts, threw 2 picks. Week 2 was no better against the Chargers. Higher completion percentage, but he only totaled 84 yards on 18 completions. And he turned the ball over again. He wasn't really all that good his rookie year either. Completed less than 60% of his passes. Threw for less than 3 stacks in 16 games played. 11 TDs to 10 interceptions. Has not been good. There's no doubt about it. I am not going to come up here and tell you that Bryce Young has been good through 17, 18 games as an NFL starter. But I will say this. I have a hard time believing that Bryce Young just forgot how to play football. The dude was the best quarterback in the country at Alabama. He won the Heisman. He was a blue chip prospect coming out of high school. I have a hard time believing that he is just done, that he is just trash, that he is not a good football player. And I've seen a lot of people come at me on Twitter saying the dude stinks. He stinks. And you know what? He has stunk. He has not been good. But can we at least be consistent? Can we stop being biased? We can't give excuses for Daniel Jones about the lack of talent, the offensive line being no good, the coaching staff changes, this, that, and the third. You can't do that for Daniel Jones if you're not going to do that for Bryce Young. In fact, you should be doing that for Bryce Young and not Daniel Jones, because Bryce Young has been in the NFL for 19 games. Daniel Jones is going on his 6th season. You can't have it both ways. Take off your Homer jersey. Judge the situation for what it is. John Mara says we've done everything to screw up Daniel Jones. The Panthers did the exact same thing with Bryce Young. One was just the Heisman, and one was a 0-star commit going to Duke. I tweeted this out on Monday and said the New York Giants should trade for Bryce Young and give him the rest of the season to see if he could turn it around. Very polarizing on Twitter. Got like 400 responses, 1.5 thousand likes. Half the people think I'm an idiot. Half the people think I'm right. I'm going to try to tell you why I think the Giants should make that trade for Bryce Young coming up in a second. But make sure you are subscribed to the channel, because if the Giants make a move at quarterback, we have you covered. The Giants trade for Bryce Young. We are going live on the channel. If you want free, informative, entertaining updates every day on your New York Giants, hit that sub button right now. Coming up next, what's the point of playing Daniel Jones at quarterback anymore? And this has nothing to do with his Week 2 performance. What is the point of having Daniel Jones as the Giants quarterback? That's coming up. First, I got to give a major shout out to today's sponsor, PrizePicks. If you enjoy playing daily fantasy sports, try out PrizePicks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use that promo code CLNS. And PrizePicks will give you $50 for free when you play a $5 lineup. Pick more, pick less, play PrizePicks. All you do is select more or less on the projected stat line that PrizePicks offers for each player. They also do always these awesome deals where they literally are giving you free money. They have set the total for Caleb Williams at half a passing yard coming up this week. Take the more on that. Pair it with Malik Nabers going for the more. And if you want to throw Deshaun Watson in there for the less, you could do that as well. Download the PrizePicks app by going to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use that promo code CLNS and get $50 for free when you play a $5 lineup. All that information is clickable down in the comments and description of today's show. What's the point of playing Daniel Jones at quarterback anymore? You know, I know, Daniel knows, John Mara knows, Brian Daboll knows, and Joe Shane knows that Daniel Jones will not be on this roster this time next year. The amount of games left that Daniel Jones has to start for the New York Giants goes down every week, because there is not any way in the world that he will be on this team next year, unless he gets hurt. The Giants are putting themselves in a bad spot right now by playing Daniel Jones. And it has nothing to do with how he's played this season. It's the fact that he is not the franchise quarterback going forward. Daniel Jones has a $23 million injury guarantee for 2025. That becomes fully guaranteed if he gets hurt and he is unable to pass a off-season physical. He's already had 2 major neck injuries. He's already torn his ACL. Why are we acting like it would be crazy if Daniel Jones has a major injury? We've already seen other teams in the NFL do this. The Broncos had an injury guarantee with Russell Wilson last year. What'd they do? Bench him. The Raiders had an injury guarantee in Jimmy Garoppolo's contract. What'd they do? Bench him. The Colts, they had an injury guarantee in Matt Ryan's contract. What'd they do? Bench him. The Raiders, they had an injury guarantee in Derek Carr's contract. What'd they do? bench him. So why not bench Daniel Jones and throw a dart at Bryce Young? Give it a shot. Give it the rest of the season. Because you know what? If he stinks, you still need a quarterback. You're back to the spot you were in before you traded for him. What about the small chance that the number 1 overall pick, the Heisman, gets to work with, I don't know, some guy that everyone told me was a QB guru and turns him around? You keep shooting until you find your guy. You know, like when you're hooping at the rec center, you always got to end on a make. You don't just stop shooting if you can't make a shot. You keep on letting it fly. You keep on trying to find the right guy. What did the Arizona Cardinals do? They drafted Josh Rosen in the first round. What did they do the next year? They got Kyler Murray. They got a franchise quarterback that's going to win games in this league for a long time. Until you have someone under center that elevates your franchise, continuously fire off shots. Don't double down 6 times. I hope we've learned that lesson. I'd bet this. I bet if you put Joe Schoen, Brian Daboll, and the entire Giants front office on a lie detector test, I bet they all had Bryce Young as the number 1 quarterback in the 2023 NFL draft class. Because he was the Heisman. And he was the number 1 pick unanimously in every team's front office. And if Brian Daboll is the QB whisperer that saved Josh Allen, that elevated Josh Allen, that got this job for what he did with the quarterback, how about give him a guy that you had as the number 1 quarterback in a draft class that won the Heisman, that was dominant at Alabama, and that was a blue chip prospect coming out of high school? Give it 10 games. It's really a win-win situation. What do you lose by trading for Bryce Young? Maybe the price that it costs to go get him. And this is all dependent on what the price is. And I'm not sure what it is, but it's still a win-win. You trade for him, he plays good, you got a quarterback. You trade for him and he plays bad, you need a quarterback. You already need a quarterback. Nothing bad can come of a Bryce Young trade. But Marshall, we can't waste assets on Bryce Young, right? I've already seen 100 people, 1,000 people tweet me at Twitter. We're going to trade picks for Bryce Young? No, I didn't say that. I'm not giving up a first-round pick, not giving up any picks for Bryce Young. How about we trade our bust for their bust? How about we trade our backup right tackle, number 7 overall pick, who can't play his 3rd year in the NFL, for a guy that they just benched? How about Dan Morgan and his buddy Joe Schoen get on the phone and they make a deal happen? You're telling me you wouldn't trade Evan Neal for Bryce Young? You are lying, because Evan Neal doesn't even play football right now. This is the deal you offer. And if you have to throw in a 6th, if you have to throw in a 7th, then so be it. But at least give this fan base something to look forward to, because we're already talking about doing mock drafts. Would you make this trade? Would you make this trade? Type T for trade. Type P for pass. This is an easy accept. This is an easy accept. If you got to sprinkle on a little bit more power on that trade offer, you do it. This is a win-win situation. You pair a number 1 overall pick. I don't even have to say anything else. He's a number 1 overall pick with the QB guru. You know what you figure out after that trade? Either your scouting department stinks or Brian Daboll stinks. Or your scouting department was right and Brian Daboll is the QB whisperer, and then you have a franchise quarterback. And if he stinks, you're in the same spot you were before you made the trade. Desperate of a quarterback. Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. At @MarshallGreen_ is the handle on both. If you don't agree with it, let's talk about it.
Chat says make the trade. At least that trade.
Why would you not make a trade for Bryce Young?
You get to find out multiple things. You get to find out if you need to keep going for another quarterback, and you also get to find out if your coach is legit or not.
I don't know. I would do it.
Give him Neal and a New York bagel.
I don't know. I don't know. But there is no reason to play Daniel Jones anymore.
If the season's already over, like
Giants have a 6% chance to make the playoffs.
And what says they're going? What screams that they're going to be a part of that 6% that overcomes 0-2?
I've already seen like 50 people say, "Why would the Panthers make that trade?" So maybe they just benched him.
They benched him, and
the GM and the coach. Well, I believe the GM and the coach have both changed since he was drafted.
Correct.
So they're not his guy.
At least the head coach has definitely changed.
Yeah.
And
it was Scott Fittier, or whatever his name is. Dan Morgan became the general manager on January 22nd of 2024. So he did not draft Bryce Young.
Okay.
So why would they trade him? The GM and the coach you have, they didn't draft him, and you benched him in his second game in his second season as a pro. That's why. Maybe you got to add more. Maybe you got to add more than Evan Neal. And I can understand that, and I would.
And also, I know Evan Neal's probably not going to be a good NFL pro, but the Panthers also have the worst offensive line in football.
Yep.
So,
the goofballs. What up, guys? What up, man? He says trade Joe Shane for him. LOL. Dan Morgan loves Joe. Oh man, the football guy, the two giant goofballs. Appreciate you guys stopping by, man. I appreciate it. Shout out to everybody in the building. 390 people watching. If you haven't yet, hit that thumbs up icon. Mike G, $10 super chat. Thank you, Mike G. Always the real one. Says, I know it's early, but Marsh, you want a redo of MHJ or Leak? Nah, I'm good with who we got.
definitely not.
Look,
they're both fantastic.
They're both great. They're both great.
And they can both coexist. Like, they can both be okay. And the Giants will – I don't think the Giants will ever bat an eye about missing out on Marvin Harrison. It's not like
they picked Nabers above him.
It's not like it's not like they had the choice.
I'll tell you this much. You know what was the right pick? Malik Nabers over Roma Dunze.
That's true. And I, right hand up, disagree with
Still
that.
early. Still really early. But the early signs tell you that Malik Nabers is going to be an all-pro in this league for a really, really long time.
Yeah, I mean, when you come in like that and have an instant impact with the team that especially the team you're on.
When the defense knows the only person that can beat us is Malik Nabers.
He had 18 targets yesterday.
He's 21 years old.
He had 18 targets. Amon-Ra St. Brown doesn't get targeted 18 times. Justin Jefferson.
It should have been 19 when he was wide open on the drag route. But we want to throw into double coverage to Wan'Dale Robinson.
The drag route was crazy. He ran across DJ's face. And then DJ decides to go to the second level. Which, by the way, Daniel Jones doesn't throw the ball down the field, and he decides to throw it past Malik Nabers.
Fuck it, Malik's open. Wan'Dale downfield in double coverage.
I'd argue it was triple coverage. There were 3 Washington defenders there.
That play pissed me the hell off.
Yeah, that was bad.
Like, bruh. It's not hard. Daniel Jones, the best season you're going to have is if you just force the ball to number 1. You did it 18 times. It should have been 25.
It should have been. His target share is unbelievable compared to, like, the rest of the league, man. Nobody else is seeing the peppering that Malik Nabers is getting.
Can we complete a pass past 20 yards in the air? Only team in the NFL, I believe, that hasn't done that yet.
Which is kind of crazy because I don't know if you guys have watched much Caleb Williams. He don't throw the ball down the field either. His only 2 throws he had past, 15 yards downfield yesterday, both were picked.
Unbelievable.
F it, Leak down there somewhere.
AJ says, man, this is a bad take. The Giants need defense, not a benched quarterback. How many points did the Giants score week 1? How many touchdowns did the Giants score week 1?
Not a lot.
The answer is 0 touchdowns. They need a quarterback. Giants need a lot of things. We can need both. He's ridiculous.
He's hilarious.
He is ridiculous. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. Like, it's not mutually exclusive, Smitty. It's not like we can't get another quarterback because we need defense. We need all of it, baby.
You are there are so many holes in this roster, man. Off-ball linebacker Micah McFadden stinks. Like they were terrible yesterday. There's multiple members of your secondary your secondary has no depth outside of Deontay Banks at the cornerback spot. I mean, it's just what is wrong with him? Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. Ridiculous. Is it working? Do we got anything? Luke Papa, what up, dog? Are Luke Papa and the Bronx Boy going at it in the chat? So should do it now. All right. Our software.
It's up for the time being. You got to do it now.
If you want us to do the mailbag on today's show, drop your questions in the chat. # Giants right now.
Come on. We need y'all.
We will give 2 minutes on the clock. If not enough questions, I've had a timer running for 549 hours. I wonder why.
It's kind of electric.
Why is that a thing?
I don't know.
# Giants or Super Chat. We got 2 minutes on the shot clock to get your questions in.
Okay, Kyle's is in.
I need everyone to ask their questions.
Come on.
Pokey Moore got a question in.
Pokey Moore's is in.
Shipmaster Kyle got a question in. Is Michael Pinto's Super Chat in?
No.
Brutal.
I'm so upset. I actually had that one locked and loaded.
MP, $20 Super Chat. Thank you, brother.
But it was that recent? Did that
just happened?
Oh, shoot. Maybe if I read. Hold on. MP. No.
All the questions that came in earlier have been lost. We are starting a clean slate.
We're trying.
We're trying. If you want your question on today's show, you got to ask it right now. You got to ask it right now.
Right now. Oh, no. I didn't refresh yet, but I'm seeing them come in, and they're not coming on the computer. Pause.
What about if you remove the filter? What happens? Maybe go to a different layer?
I didn't even refresh it, baby. And it just...
Unbelievable.
No, I unfiltered it, and I fucked it up, too.
Unbelievable, man. Where's Simpy? I don't know where Rob Simpy is, man. I need his positivity in here. It's just not going to work, man. Brutal. It's not going to work. We will do this. I will answer for the next 10 minutes all of the super chats that come in with an in-depth response.
Cool.
An in-depth response.
That's respect.
Unfortunately, our software is not letting us put your questions up on screen. I'm not sure why. But for the next 10 minutes, if you have a question you want to ask, just it's easiest for me to see right here. I will put 2 minutes on my shot clock. Uh, 10 minutes on the shot clock. Any super chat that comes in the next 10 minutes, we will answer those. And then while those don't come in, I will just look at the chat and answer those. Yeah. Michael says 2 questions with the Bryce trade. The cost, and if Bryce shows good signs and starts to show why he's the first pick, does that affect the idea of taking your choice QB in next year's draft? How well would he have to play? It's a really good question, Michael, and I hope you're still watching. The cost. I'm unsure what the cost of a Bryce Young trade would be. I really have no idea. I assume that it can't be for too much because he has not played well and he's been benched after 2 seasons. 18 games. 18 games in the NFL, he has been benched. If Bryce shows good signs and start to show why he was the first pick, does that affect the idea of taking your choice QB? Absolutely. If Bryce Young comes to the New York Giants and he plays like the guy that we all thought he was going to be, the Heisman winner coming out of Bama, that's your QB. And then you just draft a player that can help this team at a position of value at the top of the draft. Like, yeah, if Bryce Young comes and balls out with the Giants, then yeah, he's your franchise. He's the guy you roll with. And if he stinks next year, you draft Arch Manning. But you'd have to have the number 1 pick to get Arch Manning. LeVar says, how many targets do the other wide receivers deserve? I don't want to burn the guy out. I've never really thought about it like that, but I will say this. Let me make sure I don't put my foot in my mouth when I say this so I know exactly what it is. Daniel Jones completed 16 passes yesterday. I'd like to see that number closer to 20. And he threw 18 attempts, so he barely completed 50% of his passes. I would want more passes to be caught. If that means targeting other players, that means Daniel Jones more accurate, better with the ball. I don't know what the answer is there, but he's got to be better. Johnson U says Lance went for a 4th. Maybe they want at least a 3rd. I can't give up a 3rd for Bryce Young. I can't do that. I would do the most. I think I would do is a 5th. I think the most I would do is a 5th.
I could be talked into a 4th if they gave you like a 6th back.
Yeah, but like, I just don't know who he is. I just don't know what he is at this point. Like, this is you've got to revive the guy's career. So for me, I can't give up anything more than a 5th. The trade I'd like to see is you guys get Evan Neal, we get Bryce Young. We get Evan Neal, or you get Evan Neal, we get Bryce Young. That would be my trade offer. I'm not dying to go out and get Bryce Young. But if the value matches up, I would absolutely do it. Bam, bam. $10 super chat. Look at Smitty getting sticky.
I got y'all.
Says Neal, Slayton, and a 6 for Young. Hate to trade Slayton, but Hyatt is being wasted on the bench. He's too electric. After a trade, we then have 4 QBs who gets cut or traded. We got to, you would shut down Daniel Jones for the season. If you trade for Bryce Young, you are shutting Daniel Jones down for Daniel Jones for the season because he has a $23 million injury guarantee in his contract. Bronx Boy knows, can we trade Smitty? Cha says, didn't we tank already? No, they've been trying to win games. They're just really bad. The Giants have never tanked. I think they've just been really bad while trying to be good. Neal Slayton in a 6th? I'd do it. I'd do it. I would. Bam, bam. Then you get to prioritize Jalen Hyatt. You trade it up for Jalen Hyatt in the 3rd round. We're just wasting him on the bench. And if you trade Slayton, you open up an opportunity for Hyatt, and you get something out of it. Yeah, I would do Neal Slayton in a 6 for Bryce Young, absolutely.
Sure.
Darius Slayton's leaving at the end of this season. He is a free agent.
Yeah.
Lance went for a 4th. Maybe they want at least a 3rd. 3rd's a little rich for me. Did the Cowboys trade a 4th for Lance? Is that what it was?
They did.
Maybe that lowers the trade value for Bryce Young because teams realize that they overpaid for that.
That's true. That's a good point.
Maybe. I don't know, though.
Oh, yeah, this is
Mike G says, I know it's early, but Marsh, you want a redo of MA? No. Look, if the Giants were able to get Marvin Harrison Jr., I would have been happy with that. We got Malik Nabers. I'm happy with that. Both these guys are going to be studs in this league. We verbally hit some of these. Yeah, we did the Russell Wilson one. How do you fix this team besides quarterback? I believe it's got to be a whole restart. I do. I just don't believe in Joe Shane really at this point anymore. Don't really believe in Brian Daboll. I absolutely do not believe in Shane Bowen. And the roster just lacks talent. It just does. It just does. I don't always want to be a Debbie Downer, but I can only tell you the truth.
Shout out Pedro.
Pedro is not dissing Carey, just QB. Understandable, Pedro. That's on me. I put words in your mouth. I shouldn't do that. Surfboard. Yeah, no, he's not. He is not. I wish he was. As a fan, I stopped believing in Daboll his first year when he could have played the Eagles. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Yep, you missed on Evan Neal. I don't want to call Kayvon Thibodeau a miss, but you didn't get a blue chip prospect at that 5th spot. Kayvon's still young. Could get a lot better, but he's got a long way to go. Troll says, Marsh, did you get my 171 CA? Yes, I did. Did you got a little note in there for me? For you and Smitty do a boot. For $1.71, brother.
What do you think?
Smitty's on antibiotics, number one.
I'm playing flu games all week.
Smitty's on the antibiotics. We're at 181 in super chats. If we get to 300, I'll do a boot. How about that? The Bronx Boy says even more fun for Smitty. If we get to 300, I'll do a beer boot.
DJ T reviews or TJ TV reviews.
Ooh, I love that.
First time super chat
for DJ. Shout out to DJ. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting the show, my man. If the Bryce Young trade doesn't happen, where do you think Daniel Jones will go after this season, and will you celebrate when he leaves? He will go to free agency because the Giants will cut him. Whether the Giants trade for Bryce Young or they don't trade for Bryce Young, Daniel Jones is being cut after this season. The Giants save $20 million if he is cut. The Giants are going to cut Daniel Jones. Will I celebrate? Yes. I can't lie to you. I will. I need new hope. I need someone to believe in. And it's not even because Daniel Jones played bad yesterday. But, Smitty, I think yesterday's game showed you what Daniel Jones is.
Yeah.
When he's unpressured, he's just a game manager.
That's what he did yesterday. And
he managed the game. And he didn't win you the game. Maybe if Nabers catches that ball, sure. But it doesn't come down to one play. The
thing about Nabers on 4th down that I've also tried to tussle with today is if he does catch that ball, there's still no guarantee you win the game.
Are we sure we're going to score?
Are you sure you're going to score? Are you sure you're going to get in the end zone? Because you had to get in the end zone. You couldn't kick a field goal. You had to get in the end zone. And he would have caught the ball out of bounds at what? The 20? 25? I don't know. Could have even been further out.
I don't remember exactly. I'll pull it up right here.
Yeah, let me see. Pull up the play-by-play and.
And for all people that says we can't fire Brian Daboll, Smitty, because we went to the playoffs first year, Brian Daboll was 6-13 in his last 19 games as the Giants head coach. He started 5-1. The Malik Nabers catch would have been at a little closer than we thought. He was down. He would have been down at exactly the 10-yard line. So it would have been 1st and goal, 10 yards to go.
All right. So maybe they would have gotten in.
No guarantee, though.
No guarantee.
And what was the score? We were up by, was it tied? We were up by 2.
Yeah. No, it was tied. Yeah, it was tied. 18-18.
18-18, yeah, exactly. You're right.
And keep in mind,
who's saying we're stopping them?
Those scores were not achieved the same way.
Who says we're stopping them?
Who says we're stopping them either? Because you couldn't do it all day. They got into field goal range every single time they had the football.
7 successful drives for the rookie QB. He got points on the board every time.
Jaden Daniels, the rest of this season, will never have an easier day than he did yesterday against the Giants.
How many 3rd and longs did they pick up?
And it was effortless.
Ridiculous, man.
Where the heck is Simmons, says Bam Bam. Listen.
Look, he signed on a veteran minimum contract, essentially, to return to the Giants.
And, if he's not out there on the active roster, he's probably not that good.
Yeah, he didn't play a snap week 1. He played a couple of snaps in week 2. He missed a pivotal tackle. On paper, Isaiah Simmons should be a dog. Mm-hmm. But at some point, he's got to be that dog. You can only be tall, strong, fast, and athletic and not produce for so long.
Johnson Hughes says, draft Dylan Raiola Mahomes. That brother is 18.
I can't wait that long.
I can't even wait for Arch.
Long. Yeah. We do like paper players, Bronx boy. We do. Oh, man. Lord Buddy Bear says, is Daboll on the hot seat yet?
Seat's scorching, brother.
That seat is on fire. DJ, what's up, dog? I meant what team will DJ go to after this season? He'll go somewhere to be a backup. I don't know what team that would be. But I don't think any team will sign him to be a starter. I am confident no team signs him to be a starter. No team.
Sign who?
Daniel Jones.
Oh, no.
Does he get signed?
Yes, but...
as a backup?
Yes, 100%. He'll get signed as a backup. But he will never be a full-time starter in the NFL again.
He will never be a week 1 starter again.
No. Never.
Maybe a team that drafts a rookie quarterback and then he's your bridge guy, but yeah, that's about it.
Yep.
Logan says, do you think the Giants can get more than 5 wins? Brother, I'm looking for 1 win. Do they do updated season win totals?
Yeah, I think so. Let me look on the Duel right now.
Has the Giants been updated?
Oh, I just think I just clicked it in New York, so I don't think you can actually do that in New York, funny enough. Let's see.
It's at 4.5 right now.
4.5.
It was 6.5 before the season. 4.5 wins for the Giants this year. Over, under.
Yeah.
O for over, U for under.
They have FanDuel has the over at -150, so favored to win 5 games. Under +120, and that's solid value.
Bronx boy, I need a big game for Drake London. We are big Drake London fantasy owners. We
Dirty
need a big
Birds.
game. We need a big game.
Dirty Birds.
Adonis, the A Train, says Tyrod Taylor should have been re-signed. Absolutely. He was the best quarterback on your team last year. Absolutely. Lord Buddy Bear says under, 2nd overall. Panthers first, I'm guessing. Because if the Panthers get the first pick, they got to draft a quarterback. You just bench Bryce Young.
Have to.
So how about we get him an all-pro, all-American right tackle? We'll give him an all-American right tackle.
That's what Evan Neal was, wasn't he?
We'll give him an all-American right tackle.
Top
for the
10 pick, all-American,
Bama
Alabama.
Bama bust for Bama bust.
Which is so funny because there are not many Bama busts.
DeBrickashaw says we basically got 2 free wins then.
DeBrickashaw.
Who are the Giants' free wins against? Because I would have told you the free win was week 2 against the second game quarterback, Jane Daniels. And he got an offense.
To be fair, you probably will split with the Commanders.
You should.
You should.
You should. But they'll be better by the time you play them again.
Yep.
Jane Daniels will be better.
They'll be trending up, and the Giants will be either at the same level or trending down.
Rashad says Taylor's injury prone. Yep, still better than any quarterback we got, brother.
So Vegas essentially had these 2 games going to the Giants. If their win total was at 6.5, and now it's at 4.5, they thought the Giants, these were winnable games for them.
Yeah, they were. They opened the when the schedule got announced. The Giants were favorites, against the Commanders and against Minnesota.
So that's That's how fast things change in the NFL.
Jay, draft my top QBs way too early. I don't think I should be held to this as we are 3 weeks into college football. Guys I'm looking at: Carson Beck, Cam Ward, Quinn Ewers.
Say it.
We'll keep our eyes on Miller Moss.
Yes! I'm telling you, he's nice.
And those are really my top 4 right now. Those are my top 4 right now.
Nah, yeah, for real. Those probably the
Ewers, Beck, Cam Ward, and we'll watch Miller Moss.
Oh, I can't wait to be vindicated.
I have no interest in drafting Shador Sanders.
And nobody should. Nobody should.
Oh, and Jalen Milroe. Thank you. Jalen Milroe. That's my top 5. That's my top 5. Milroe, Beck, Ewers, Ward, and a distant Miller Moss at 5. But he's in there. Don't sleep on Will Howard. I'm not.
All right, listen. Hot take. I'm on Carson Beck. He stinks.
Does he stink?
I think he stinks. You should. Watch.
Patrick Jackson Dart. He's climbing. Jackson Dart. If I had to go a 6 spot, it'd be him.
Jackson Dart is a college quarterback.
That's what I'm worried about.
He's a college quarterback. He's a Lane Kiffin guy.
Milroe.
Why the hate? What do you mean? Why the hate for Sanders? Brings the hate himself, man. He's disrespectful.
I don't want a circus. I want a football team.
I'm not drafting Deion Sanders.
I don't want. Exactly.
Guess
Smitty.
what? If you draft Shador, Deion's coming too. Deion's coming too.
Oh my!
You're getting all the prime.
You're gonna find a way to get Shiloh on the roster.
Yeah. He's the modern day LeVar Ball.
Which isn't a bad thing.
But
he's just not. It's not for me.
No.
It's not for me. He's not for me.
You don't bring that type of situation to a situation that's already in a dumpster fire.
Yeah. 5 QB. Yeah, Shiloh has a broken arm. He'll be healed up if we draft Shador, I promise.
This is New York. Bring the circus.
Milroe, you are a New York Giant. I'm in on Milroe.
Is Milroe a pro?
He has Lamar Jackson potential.
Okay. He is not Lamar Jackson right now, let me tell you what. He is not Lamar. Lamar Jackson is like a top 3 quarterback I've watched.
Oh, I thought you meant like coming out of Louisville.
Yeah, no. Lamar Jackson won the Heisman.
Milroe might win the Heisman.
We'll see.
What are the odds?
Who is the leader?
I bet Milroe has a top 5 chance.
Oh, 100% he is a top 5 because he goes to Bama.
I might even say top 3.
He probably is top 3.
Jalen Milroe is an electric factory.
Current Heisman odds.
Yep, Mr. Rick, you let Tyrod Taylor walk. That was an L.
Jalen Milroe is 2nd.
Huh. So what happens if he wins the Heisman this year?
Jackson Dart is 3rd. What does that mean?
He's number 6 on my list.
Oh!
Actually, yeah, no, he's 6. I might move Miller Moss to 6.
Cam Ward is number 1.
It's all about you.
Boom!
John Feliciano, miss. Mark Lewinsky, miss.
Oh my God, I'm taking Miller Moss to win the Heisman. He's like plus 2,000 right now. This is
You are not.
What happens when USC goes undefeated?
Oh, lordy. All righty, we're going to sign off on today's show. Thank you to everybody that tuned in. Over 400 people were live here at one time. Awesome audience attendance today, and I appreciate that. Yesterday, I was upset. I was. We put a lot into this show, and it just sucks that sometimes it just feels like it goes a little wasted because they're such a bad football team. But we got the best community on YouTube, even though Nope is a little shithead. We got the best community on YouTube. Do your homework tonight, Nope. Don't pee the bed. But I love this place. I do. I'm lucky to have you guys watching this show. We're 0-2. You could have easily quit on the season. And over 3,400 people tuned into today's live show.
And I can tell you this, guys. Marshall hasn't had the same luxury as me as being on a plethora of chat sports shows behind the camera here, sitting in the chair. the community that he has built and you guys are a part of here at Giants Now, it's unlike any other one that I've seen. And you guys are the best. I'm so happy and so glad to be a part of it now. Great people. Just hopefully there's a great football team around the corner.
Hopefully. How about I go beat the Browns? That'd be kind of cool.
Hey, listen, they're riding high after a road win. Deshaun
Smitty,
Watson.
did you know that you can't get to 14
and 2 if you don't start 1 and 2?
You can't get to 15 and 2.
Yep.
If you don't lose 2 football games.
That's right.
All right. We'll see y'all later. Appreciate y'all. Go Big
y'all.
Blue.